I mean, all
What
that.
are you going for cars for kids?
With that, and I think I might be putting a couple things on those trikes on one of them.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
a good
like
idea.
one of them.
Yeah, they're gonna
Maybe
bring it over.
just some stripes,
Yeah.
just something, not anything crazy. But I mean, I talked to Satoshi, and he sort of thought that was a great idea that we might touch it a little bit because they're going to be just one color.
Yeah,
But
they're auctioning one off.
Yeah. So this year it'll be the fridge, and it'll be that. So, but I mean, I made panels every year, and last year they said, "Why don't we do something different?" That's fine with me. And then when Jurley came up with this idea to do the pedal car,
Yeah,
I thought that'd be great. So, and it was like an old dirt track car, like an old vintage Indy car, Yeah, it was black. Snap-on had them, and I don't know how you got it. It was from Snap-on tools.
Now I remember.
But Jurley had one hanging in his garage, but he didn't have it painted like I had it painted. And then I think he's donating that one to somebody else. But we're not going to paint it or anything. But I've done Jurley's work for years down Wimber, and
I don't really know him, but he seems like a really great
guy. My thing is, I love doing it. I love it. It's like a drug.
I could tell you love it.
Yeah, it's a drug. And I'm a perfectionist.
When it's done,
I look at something, I go, "Oh, I got that one stripe."
You wipe something.
I wipe everything off.
You did one side of a tank or something. You were doing the other side, and I was going, "It's beautiful, it's beautiful." And you went, "Oh,
I don't like it.
I don't like it."
Yeah. So I'm a little anal on that, with doing.
But that's why I noticed one of the things about your work is the symmetry. The left looks like this, the right looks like it too.
Yeah, you got to make it.
Because when they're not, that's what Tommy is always pointing out. Evaluating these stripers, you go, "That's not Casey." It's like little.
Well, there's a lot of guys that you'll hear stories that say, "Oh yeah, he just walked the other side and made the design exactly like that." Really, I said I have to measure sometimes, just a little reference point, like a couple spots with a grease pencil, so I know about where I'm at.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't see both sides same time.
No.
But what you just said is nice because somebody, and I got a lot of women do that. They come up and they go, "Sir, your one stripe is like a 1/4 inch off from the other side." I said, "Really?" And I said, "Did you notice that there's an air cleaner involved in the other side of the truck? I couldn't do it that way." And she goes, "Oh, excuse me, lady, I've been doing this too long." I said,
"He's going to teach you."
Yeah, it just goes with the territory, but it's.
But when you got to do something different because something's different on the other side, I know it bugs you.
Well, when somebody walks in this door, the first thing I asked them, I said, "All right, what color do you like? Are you and your wife okay?" They might bought a brand new pickup and they bring it in. He wants it all tricked out. She's there, "Well, I don't want no stupid color, blah, blah, blah." And they're fighting back and forth, and I'm standing in the middle.
You're supposed to be
and I'm supposed to be the problem solver. And I go like this. I said, "Hold up. What colors do you like?" And I said, "Be honest." "Well, I like this." I said, "What colors do you like?" And sometimes they're way away from each other, but I have a tendency to bring them together somehow and figure some out. And then I ask them, "Do you want this done? You want that done?" And it's all about the price too. It's the time that it takes to do one. But
something like on a car or a hot rod or a truck, it's sort of endless.
Oh, it is. And a lot of guys will walk in, from all my years of doing it, they'll walk in and say, "Listen, you do what you think's going to look cool."
That's what I tell you.
I know. And
I'm going to tell you how to pinch.
When you do that, this is what it does. When you do something like that, it takes me back of everything I sucked up through all the years. And it takes me back to say, like I look at the body and I go, "Oh yeah, that would look cool with that there. A couple things here." And I said, "I got something spinning here." Now I don't say I'll put that on, but once I get rolling, I could change while I'm doing something.
Right in the middle of the
job.
Right
in the middle of the job, I go, I think we ought to go back here. And then sometimes I'll wipe it off. Nah, that don't work. Then I'll go back again and I'll look and I'll go, "Oh yeah, that's what we're talking." I love body. I love to make my striping look like when you're going down the highway, it's flowing with the car or the hot rod or the truck or whatever. It's all going together.
You know, when classic cars and trucks have body lines that give you that, you know, and bikes have a lot of lines that you can use.
You got to have it. You know, you've done it. You maybe be cruising on your bike or something, and some hot rod or big Peterbilt passes you, and you go, holy crap, you know. And it's the style, it's the way it's laid out.
Yeah, some of those trucks really have
some nice man. And that was my bread and butter for a long time, was the big trucks. That's up here.
I remember you were going up to the Melons for a while.
Yeah.
Doing work for the Melons.
Yeah. Now he's getting older now, but oh man, I was up there lots of times.
You told me about some garage he had.
Oh, he had a 14-car garage.
Yeah.
And my buddy Jeff Luther was in charge of everything, and he got me in there. And they had Vets and all kind of hot rods and stuff.
Mercedes or
all kinds. His sister had a Bentley. I did. It was almost
that's what I'm thinking.
$400,000. And I striped it. You think you were nervous? Right, a $400,000 Bentley that was special order. It was some kind of series.
You set your stuff down.
I said, okay, let's go. But you know what? I look at it as just a car. You know, it's an expensive car, but
but you know what? That Bentley now, I never even saw the car, but I guarantee it's now it's a special Bentley.
Oh yeah,
even though it's a special car, now it's one.
It wasn't that much stuff on it. It was the way, the look of it, and the body line on it. Yeah. And when I was done, even the guy that's in charge that takes care of their stuff, he says, "Wow, I never dreamed it looked like that." And I said, "Well, thanks."
Sometimes some small, subtle accents.
Oh, that's all you need.
Yeah. You know? I like when they do around the door handles, the trunk key spot. You know, and
you can do. I call it sometimes the stripes on some stuff, I call it honky tonk striping. In other words, a guy just came out and went, and then okay, $35 or you know, a couple hits here and there. I don't do that. I have to plan everything. I have to look at something and say,
stand next to it. And
I admire the guys that travel to Sturgis and Daytona and the bike shows and the car shows. Alan Johnson went for years to all those big shows. Working in that environment, the hot weather, the wind, the rain, the tents, the dirt, I can't do that. Yeah. I tried it, and it just isn't my bag. I mean, the exposure is unbelievable.
Right.
But
you can have fun doing it. You can not the painting, I'm saying, but you're in a good environment.
Yeah. When you're surrounded by this, you got the music on, you're calmed down. You can really get artistic with stuff, and you can come up with some cool stuff. And sometimes, there's days I struggle. I think, man, I look at something and I go, I'll do it tomorrow.
I do the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm painting.
Yeah.
It's not going right. I'm like, I'm not even.
Well, you should stop and do something else. I work on. I have like there's like 8 or 10 license plates over there that the guy paints, and I letter them all. They're Pennsylvania plates.
We saw one.
Yeah.
His van's a rocking.
Yeah, I was working on that this morning, trying to touch it up for the guy. He has a really cool Chevy van, an old one. But if I'm not happy with what I'm doing there, I'll go over and work on that because it's not striping; it's just doodle work, you know. Right. But it smooths me out a little bit. Then maybe after lunch, I come back. I go, all right, I'm ready to nail that.
Now
I'm ready. So
I'd say that's got to be everybody.
Oh yeah.
Evan just took on a big challenge. He's trying to paint a sheet of tattoo flash, draw a sheet of tattoo flash every day for a year.
What's that?
So like just like
the designs
on a piece of paper
to show a customer. You know, they call it flash.
Oh, okay.
Nice, on the flash. So I'm trying to paint one every day, so that at the end of the year I'll have 365 on the wall.
Oh, okay. That'd be cool. Yeah, that's a great.
That's a big commitment. That's a lot.
Oh man.
But like you said, like I'll sit down and I use a nib to line it, and I'll start nibbing and it just won't go right. And I'll be in like twice, and I'll be like, all right, I just got to stop and come back later.
Yeah, you got to quit.
Frustrating.
Well, the coolest one I've ever done was for Duke in his shop. Is that chick that Mama said something?
Yeah.
That one. She's like a I don't know if she's like a Mardi Gras. I can't remember, but I remember her eyes were like deadly. And he just looked at that. He goes, "Whoa," And I did 4 paintings for him.
Yeah.
And he picked them out, and they were old tattoo flash from way back.
Right.
And he said, "Can you duplicate these 4?" I said, "Well, I'll try."
That old tattoo flash is a great source to
so that's
come up with ideas.
See, I don't know much about that. So that's what they call it, tattoo flash.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's ready to go right there. You come in, you say, "I want that."
Okay, I gotcha.
Draw it.
Because when I was in Duke's shop in Irwin, at his house, I went downstairs behind his house. Yeah, and I walked in. He wanted me to stop one day, and I walked in, and he said, and I guess that's what you call it. He has tons of stuff all over the place, and albums and stuff that you pick. I want that. Oh, I like that better. That's what you call it.
Yeah, but there's a lot of art in there that is good inspiration for hot rod stuff.
Right.
It's all crossed over.
Yeah, because all that was out west in California when it all started. You see all those crazy looking
pin-up
girls and all that stuff. That stuff's cool. I mean, but the coolest one I did though was on Andy Barron's Roadster. That yellow Roadster, I did that little bit. She was a pinup chick, and yours was really special too.
I get a lot of compliments.
Yeah, because that was a cool looking. That was like she was like coming up out of the.
What I take as a compliment is when people think it's a sticker.
That's what happens when you're dead on.
Right.
You're thinking, is that a sticker? Yeah. No, that was painted on. What?
Cherry bomb or something, right? Isn't that what it says?
Yeah.
It's something like that.
Yeah. It was a cherry bomb. I forget what it was.
Like sitting there.
I used to have this calendar. It was all Vargas girls.
Yeah. I have books on them.
Yeah.
The guys have given me. And you know what's nice with this business is people donate so much stuff to you. They bring stuff in and they go,
"Hey, I think
I think you'll like it. You can have it because I don't have no use for it." And I got Ratfink books and
I bought you something Sinclair one time just because I knew you liked Sinclair.
Oh yeah, I have some old Sinclair, and that was one of my favorites was Sinclair gas. That was one of my favorites. But and there's some well, it was around here. Golf, Sinclair. I mean, there was lots of them, but those stood out for some reason.
My dad had an Amoco gas station. When I was young, it was American. So I sort of have a little collection of American.
Yeah, there you go. That's something from your past.
Right.
But no, and I'm still junking. I mean, this weekend I'm going down your way.
Yeah.
I'll hit L&L and I'll hit all that stuff down there. Miller's and
I like Miller's. I like
Miller's. In there.
You'll get some reasonable deals in there.
And then the rave over at Greensburg in South Greensburg.
Never been to that.
Yeah. It's up by Ease.
Yeah.
The restaurant Ease. It's right across the street. But I'm looking now. I mean, I love that 50s, 60s retro stuff. Man, that stuff's cool.
I tell you what makes me feel old. Like now, some of the stuff they're calling antique is
you.
It's me.
Yeah, that's you.
I used to think the oldies were the 50s.
Yeah.
Now if you listen to oldies music, that was me. That's not oldies.
Yeah, that's you.
That's new to me.
Yeah, that's new to me. Yeah, that's pretty new. But yeah, so it was it's a lot of cool stuff. But I'm very blessed to have this shop, just to be surrounded by this stuff.
And you get to hang out with all kind of like-minded people like yourself.
Oh yeah, that's the most fun when we were just with 2 last night, but we had the West Virginia boys up Tuesday night to drop that Studebaker truck that's outside at 49. And when you get with them, all these stories pop up, and then we're laughing and talking, and and it's just like it's like a drug. And you suck it up, and then they tell you about Case, I remember you being down at Crescent Town at the Labor Day weekend show. Used to be down there with your hot rods, and I'd see you here, see you there, and I'm thinking, I can't remember. Yeah, I must have been.
Yeah, I guess I was.
Yeah, I was down there. But This year is the first year that I've been a little excited about getting my car out because I had some issues.
I thought maybe we'd see it today.
Well, I was going to bring it up, and I had that Studebaker in here, and
that's what I told Evan. It's maybe not here.
It's in the shed, and I got to get some junk pushed away from it. But this year, for some reason, I have this thing about I think I'm going to go to a little more stuff, with it.
Yeah,
because I got a different engine in it now. And it's running really nice.
Sticking out the top.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's radical looking.
It's radical.
Nice. Yeah. It looks like a Hot Wheels car.
I wanted Evan to see it. It does. It looks like
it's nuts.
Like somebody drew it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's a crazy looking car. But I wanted that. It first started out to look like a rat rod when I bought it. But I looked at it different when I looked at it. I thought, you know what? I'd like to make it look like it was an old barn find drag gasser. But see, it was chopped and channeled, so you got to be careful jacking it up because the back end's down and you don't want to be scraping the back of the body, hanging down on the ground. So the slicks and stuff keep it up. But I have it now pretty close to where it should be.
Yeah.
I'm going to buy another.
You could change. Like it's never done.
Oh yeah, well you're always
looking want to do something.
Metal flake blue wheel, metal flake bucket seats, red roll cage in it. When you're driving it, you have to drive it like this.
Yeah, it's weird
because you can't see the road. It's like a big go-kart driving down the road. But man, the stuff that when you go buy something, those guys gave me those headers. They were Headman, but they were off of something. They're like tarantula looking. They come out, they come down. They're wild looking. He's only ever seen, the shepherd said, in 35 years, he's only ever had 2 sets of them, and the one set he sold to me. And he said, I didn't want to sell them, but he said, when I stuck them on your car, he said, he loves my car. Yeah. So he said, it's got to be on your car. So he made me a good deal on him, and he's so glad you did Skooterville, though. That really was when I heard you did that, I thought, man, they're going down a great avenue, man. Because, and then you tied in with the show, and you tied in with some other stuff, and,
here's what happened when I lost my leg. I was thinking about what am I going to do now with the things I can't do, and I go, whatever I'm going to work on or be involved with is going to be doing stuff I like.
Yeah.
And that's what made me go that route. I just want to do stuff I only like now.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not 100, you can't do that 100% of your life. But,
no.
But I still try to enjoy every day.
Yeah. You have to, man, because all my buddies, I graduated in 1970. I just got a call the other day. One of them passed away.
Another one bites the dust.
I don't know, it wasn't too long ago, 2 of them died. And I'm thinking to myself, man, I'm just blessed I'm here. When Duke first came up in the 70s, he brought the poster guy up. What was his name that had the 57 Chevy? The drag.
Not Art.
No.
The other one. Yeah, his other guy that just did a car for him.
Yeah, he's from Pittsburgh, I think.
Forget his
name. I can't think of his name. But I lettered a truck for him. I think it was a Peter Kenworth, and Duke came up and he had a Motor Guzzi all tricked out.
That's what he used to buy.
And it was a big tail fender hanging out the back. I put some doodads on here and there and fixed it up for him. But that's how I got to know him.
Yeah.
And then from there on, I mean, we just connected. It's like me and you. We connected, and
we like the same stuff.
Yeah, same stuff. And but yeah, so it's been really fun, and I want to keep it fun.
Why not?
I'm more enjoying it now than ever. I think it's because you're not working yourself to death.
Right.
I'm trying to survive, but you're not.
But you're okay.
Yeah, I'm okay now. I'm hanging in there. I've had a lot of magazines. I just got in Gasser magazine with that Blue Willies, and then there was another bike, that Triumph Bonneville, that looks like had a dynamite box on the back. It was out of a copper mine. That was his theme. He was in a Cafe Racer or something that's still coming out, but they're diminishing. Chris is still hanging on
hanging
with
in
Cyclosaurus,
but he's adapting real well.
Right.
He's using the web too.
Yeah, he's making it work. But I've been very blessed to get, when I was a kid, a magazine was the biggest deal. If your car or bike was in a magazine, you were like, oh, yeah, that's
How about even before you were doing that, when they would come in the mail?
Oh.
Like when you were waiting for them, or even if you were getting them off the newsstand, you knew what day they
My
were
dad
coming.
would bring me, because I didn't have a prescription for him, but my dad would bring me one, and man, as soon as he'd bring it out there,
You'd read every page, all the little ads.
I'd read it 20 times, going through it.
The one Cyclosaurus magazine's got the Triumph in it, and it made me all happy. It's like the smallest.
His Triumph.
Oh,
It's
okay.
in the corner, like
It don't matter. It's in there.
It's in there.
I got that in my shelf. So.
Do you happen to remember the horseback street choppers?
I've heard of the name.
They had a big show that Chris has now restarted, called the Smoke Eye down in the Smoky Mountains.
Yeah.
And one year, when it was pretty new, they had a picture of me, Duke, his sister, my brother, a couple other guys, and we were up to some derelict stuff at the show, and they took our picture all together, and then they put that picture on that card in the magazine to renew a subscription.
Yeah.
And it said, if you want to be cool like these guys, subscribe. And we were all happy.